It's the next day here in Montreal. Actually, I wanted to do the walking in 2 days, and tomorrow is going to be a nicer day, so I could just do the 90 kilometers about in 2 days, because yesterday I got 47 done and then I would have only 43 left. But I don't know how the weather is really going to be like tomorrow, if it's really going to be that much better than today. And I had some other stuff to organize today because I'm going to Ontario for the next 2 weeks. So I organized myself this pickup truck for my cousin, which was on the other side of Montreal in a garage. So I had to pick it up this morning, and I used the bad weather because it was pissing rain all morning long. So at least I got something done this morning, and instead of just sitting in the house and resting, I think I'm gonna go for another try to do another 10-20 kilometers today, because if the weather is shit tomorrow, I don't have all that time walking in the rain. So let's head out. Here I want to show you how big a Canadian it's not really a mall, it's like a strip mall, I think they call it. So just some shops and restaurants, but the parking is huge, like nothing like this we have in Europe. It would be in Europe, we don't have the space to have a parking lot like this. It would be a big parking garage, underground garage, I don't know, like 4 stories, but not acres and acres just of land being put on asphalt on it, and just have the space like go to waste. And speaking of waste, this is like some bins here to collect clothes, old clothes, I think for donation, but then people just put anything here. It's kind of crazy. I did not expect this from to see like this here in Canada. You would think people would be more I say like respectful or responsible if it's something that is good. But anyways, somebody, at least I think this guy coming here and looking for some scrap metal or something to collect. It's kind of, yeah, not to expect from a first world country. Like I mentioned before, Montreal is a very important city in Canada. A lot of trade, the port, everything. And then you have like major highways, crazy interchanges here in Montreal. A lot of them are kind of due to reparation because they're very old, and some of them they already have done, because I know some of these interchanges, they were like being constructed for many years, like 5, 6, 7 years. And there's like highways, there's the train corridor from Ontario, it all goes through here. So it's a really busy, yeah, like interchanges, highways going through the city of Montreal. But I guess like any major big North American city too. Like you see, there are many different levels, like 1, 2, 3. It's really crazy. And driving here, you really have to know where you're going to even follow all the signs. American trucks, they're so huge. This is so crazy. Look at this truck, how long and heavy load it is. And the name, it says Beans, and that's my name. It's Dejan in Bosnia. Dejan. So I didn't know I have a truck here in Canada. Huge. There is one crazy thing in the winter time here in Montreal. Well, now it's summertime, so I can't show you this, but this here is part of it. Like all these machines here are for snow removal. Especially this one, where my cousin lives, and I think in many neighborhoods here in Montreal, you are allowed to park on your side of the street only like every second day, like even and uneven days. So then they remove the snow on one side of the road, and the next morning they remove it on the other one. But to see this in real is really fascinating, how many trucks are pulling up and then just using this heavy machinery to remove like tons and tons of snow, and this just so crazy and so efficient. And for some reason Canada has yeah, like no problems with snow, because they just used to snow, and snow is like no big deal. I even flew many times into Montreal, and it's like snowing so much they would cancel some flights within Canada and then use like bigger planes to go like less frequently, but then free up the space, and there's like whatever planes landing, there would be whatever like 5-6 of these big machines, snow plows, just moving like the whole snow out of the runway, and then the planes still landing, and then again from one end to another and just circle and clearing the snow. If there is like 20 centimeters of snow in Munich, they cancel all the flights for the whole day. It's a big chaos, like nothing works anymore in Germany with 20 centimeters of snow. This happened last winter in Germany, and they said yeah, they can't do anything about it because they don't have enough like stuff to work with these plows, and I think they don't even have enough plows to be that efficient and remove it. So other countries can just laugh at it, like here in Canada, Montreal, where snow is just part of every day in the winter, and it's so efficient, like that's life just goes on as usual. People get used to it and they know how to deal with it. But if I'm here back in the winter, I will show you how it's done. I have to show you how construction in North America works. So it's all just plywood and wood. There's nothing more here now than just wood. You see? Everything holding it together is kind of like wood sticks, this whole building. But when you use screws, and it's kind of very tight and holds very well. But you would expect when it's finished, it looks like this, because it's just like fake bricks on the outside, and you think it's a masoned house, but it's not. That's actually what it is. What about your country? Do people still use mostly bricks and concrete and like bars to reinforce the whole house, or is it just like a simple quick made house like this here in Canada? Well, this here for some reason doesn't look like the safest neighborhood. Look at this here, not even concrete. The balconies, everything is kind of growing in. Seems like nobody really is taking care of this building, and something tells me like it's not really the safest neighborhood here, because it's far from the city center, kind of next to the rail line here. See how it looks? Potholes everywhere. Not even like, not even asphalt. But I do have to admit, this is like the typical neighborhood, how it looks like here. Kind of looks clean and neat enough, let's say. But so far, I really can't say that I feel unsafe anywhere here in Montreal. Been wandering around here through every kind of neighborhood, like some really nice neighborhoods, some shitty like this one here, but no problem so far. Like nobody coming, approaching me, nothing. I don't know how it would be in the States, but we're gonna find out one day. Last night, after I came home, after walking all day long here in Montreal, for the first 47 kilometers, I told you that, in my opinion, the island of Montreal could be the most populated island in the world, surrounded by fresh water. So I looked it up, and it actually is, because I could not think of any other island to be this big. And with the surrounding small cities on the island of Montreal, with the city of Montreal, There's just slightly a little bit more than 2 million people living on this island. And the crazy thing is, if you think about all the big islands in the world, like, I don't know, Borneo, Madagascar, you have Java, Sumatra, Honshu, like islands which are huge and have a population of like 100 million people. And then the island of Montreal is the 36th, I think I read last night, in the whole world. Like, of all the islands, this is insane. Like, such a small tiny island surrounded by fresh water of the river of St. Lawrence is this big in terms of population. That's pretty insane. One more thing Montreal is famous for, not just bagels and the snow, it's the fucked up roads. Because of, I showed you the machines just before, but because they're removing the snow and it's snowing so much and freezing, the roads get so many cracks and potholes that it's very expensive to keep up with these, fixing the roads. I know from driving in the winter, when the snow is melting and you still have ice on the road, then in between, in the water, you would have a big pothole and you don't really even see it, especially at night, and it would just like drop into this pothole when you're driving. It's really not fun. That's why I'm just walking here through a residential neighborhood, and they removed the whole layer of asphalt here to redo the whole road, because it must have been in such a bad state that you, at some point, you have to repair it, because it doesn't it's not enough just to patch up some small potholes. As you can see here, there used to be big potholes, and here it's really not fun when you're driving in the winter. I'm getting close to the airport here, and I have to cross the busiest highway here in Montreal, which is leading to the airport in Ontario, and I was not sure if there's gonna be a way for pedestrians to cross the highway, but it seems I'm lucky, because sometimes when you reach the highways are made for cars, obviously, and then I was not sure if I would be forced to make a big detour. Oh, and there's a plane landing now. Pretty cool here in the rain, just appears out of nowhere. 60 kilometers into the walk, and I'm on the train station at the airport. The airport is just behind there, and it took me exactly 14 hours to walk these 60 kilometers. So that's not too bad, a little bit less than like 4 kilometers, let's say, right? An hour. But even the plane, when we were landing, I remember when we were at the northernmost tip of the island of Montreal, when it was flying over Montreal and flew over the airport and made a loop down in the south and landed, I think it took almost like 15 minutes. So not too bad, huh? That I walked all of this in 14 hours. Because it's actually really a long stretch, like driving or even flying over the island of Montreal. I have to cross the railroad direction to the airport, and I was first looking around where could it be, but I actually have to get like into the station, and then there's like a whole underground path to go to the airport. So no rain. Well, for the past hour it's been raining really a lot, and it's not stopping. But I kind of made myself a goal to where I want to get today, despite whatever. Well, it's been raining really a lot for the last hour, and it's not stopping, not getting any better. But I kind of made myself a goal for today. If I'm walking in the rain, so I just don't walk for 5 kilometers, at least to do another 20 it's kind of what I want to get done today. So we'll see. Would be a big chunk like done, and then tomorrow I would have only around 30 left. So let's see what the weather is gonna do and if I will make it or not. But I hope it doesn't get any worse than this, so we could do some more. Oh, there's a plane. Oh my god. Look at this, guys. That was straight over the neighborhood where I'm walking now. That's insane. That really was insane. This is the worst thing actually you can do here. Like a busy kind of highway through Montreal, and there's no sidewalk. I've been walking like this now for, I don't know, like a kilometer. And I was thinking how dangerous it is, because in Indonesia I used to walk on highways, but people there are more used to people on the road and all kinds of things. But here, now as I'm coming to this spot, that's a real proof that what I'm doing now is really not that smart. As you can see, there must have been a truck or something hit, and you can see how fast they're going. Hit this tree here, split parts from the truck and stuff down here in the... So, not the best thing actually to do, but there was actually where I'm heading to, there's no good connection other than through some neighborhoods. But I don't know if you know, in North America the neighborhoods are really not meant to be like to go through, so it's really hard. You would have to go long way around, so I'm choosing the shortest way. But yeah, I don't know how smart it is actually. I'm just walking by a famous company from Canada. It's Bombardier. I don't know if it's the seat of the company here in Montreal. I'm not quite sure, but well, just wanted to show you Bombardier, because I don't even know how many companies from Canada are that famous. I wouldn't even know now, to be honest, even though I lived in Canada, like except of whatever, like Tim Hortons as a Canadian coffee chain, and but like something which is really famous in the whole world, I'm not that quite sure. You guys know any world famous companies from Canada? I want to show you how some cities here in North America, here in Canada, I know it from Toronto, Ottawa, and here in Montreal, you're allowed to drive in the right lane only for buses, taxis, and for cars which have 2 and more people inside, from 3:30 until 6:30 in the evening. Because here in North America the public transportation system is not as good or developed as it is in Europe, and especially in Asia, like Tokyo, Singapore, where people use like the metro, and it's so efficient that you don't even need a car. And Seoul, I have been to many of these Asian cities, and I know that it's very, very efficient. And here people rather take their car, and what happens is that mostly you drive by yourself, go to work, go home, and the roads are very, very like jammed in the morning rush hour and the afternoon rush hour. So they're trying to make people use, at least like do some carpooling, like join together when they're going somewhere. And yeah, I don't know if the public transportation system is ever gonna be that efficient in North America, because all the cities are just kind of sprawling suburbs, building more and more and more and growing, and therefore people first they build big roads instead of like good transportation systems, like new subway right away. So it's gonna be hard to ever change this in North America. This is crazy, walking over a highway bridge I just gotta be careful. People here driving so fast and they don't give a shit if they splash you with all the water here. But anyways, this is Montreal, highways of Montreal. Not even as busy as I thought it would be, because now it's 6. I'm basically crossing the island now from south to north, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do the last whatever 30 kilometers, but walking on the northern shore and not on the southern anymore. See the bad roads, and then people getting inside and splashing. I just did my 20 kilometers for today in the rain, and I decided actually it's gonna be enough, because I just see there's a Wendy's here, and actually I did enjoy eating at Wendy's when I used to live in Canada. So I'm gonna go inside, have dinner. So basically I walked 20 kilometers to have a dinner and go back home, and I think it's really enough because it's not stopping raining. It's just awful weather. Really enough, and hopefully tomorrow it's not gonna be like this. And I just checked, I have 25 kilometers to finish tomorrow, so that should be actually okay. So gonna go have something to eat. I'm just gonna show you what I'm gonna order, and yeah, no more walking for today. Gonna grab the bus. There's the bus station here, so I can just go out the restaurant and take the bus home. And yeah, I'm satisfied with what I got done today in the rain. Basically it never stopped raining. Finally sitting. Look at me, look at this here, completely wet, everything's wet. Well, I look forward to having Wendy's. I got a Baconator, that's like whatever, burger with bacon instead of some fries. Poutine, which is like Canadian style fries with some crunchy cheese, which I haven't had in years, but that's very small. It's $20, 1986 for this little bit, which is kind of much more than I remember it was, and much less than I remember I got. So, well, still, anyways guys, that's it for today. I'm gonna eat this, go home, sleep, get up in the morning, and hope for better weather.